We haven't even finished Season 1 of Battlefield 6 yet, and we've already got leaks going into Season 3, which is pretty wild, but I always love to see some new leaks to kind of get an idea of what we might be able to expect. And there are some pretty interesting leaks that I wanted to cover in today's video, including the potential release date of the naval combat in Battlefield 6. We know that it is going to be coming to the game at some point, but something might indicate exactly when it's going to release in the leaks. But before we do that, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications set to all so you can stay up to date with all of the Battlefield 6 content here in the channel, and let's just dive right on into it. So these leaks come from Temporeal over on X. These are, for right now, still just data mined pieces of information. It's unofficial and nothing has been 100% confirmed, but for the most part, data mines tend to kind of pan out. We have seen them already panning out with, for instance, Project Granite, which ended up being RedSec. So the data mines are always subject to change, but for right now, it looks like this is pretty much what we can expect to see within Season 2 and into Season 3. So the first thing I kind of wanted to cover here are some weapons. It looks like we're going to be getting the MG5 in Season 2, and it looks like there are some other weapons that were found in some of the data mined files, including the Bren 2, the Scorpion Evo 3, and the Scorpion VZ61. Now, it's not 100% clear if all of these weapons are going to be releasing in Season 2, if some will be Season 2 or Season 3, and we also don't know exactly when in Season 2 they're going to be dropping. If they kind of follow the same pattern that they've done with Season 1 so far, where it's tiered into 3 drops for content, then we might be seeing these weapons spread out across multiple months. Now, personally, I like that each month we've been getting some new kind of content here and there, so I do think that this is a solid system right now for Battlefield 6, and I do expect that it's going to continue this way into Seasons 2 and Season 3. So we could probably expect to see new weapons each month, at least 1 to 2 new maps a season, those sorts of things. In terms of vehicles for Season 2, it looks like we are going to be getting the AH-6 Little Bird as well as some loadouts for the Little Bird. Now, the Little Bird is currently available in Portal experiences, so if you hop into Portal, there are some servers that do include that Little Bird. It's not in the base multiplayer, but it is in Portal, so we obviously know it's going to be coming to the game. So it looks like for the loadouts, we've got the following for the primary: the minigun, the GAU-19, and the LR-30. For the secondary, it looks like we've got the PKWS, Hellfire, Hydra 70, and Stinger. And then for the equipment for the Little Bird, we've got flares, a motion sensor, and thermal smoke. Of course, the Little Bird does support passengers, and it looks like for the passenger, they get the thermal scanner and the directional jammer. Now for gadgets, there are a couple here, and it's not very clear if these are going to be in Seasons 2 or Season 3, or when exactly within those seasons. It's just kind of listed here that they might be coming to the game. Those include the Sich G1 Frag, which is an airburst grenade launcher, and the description here says it's chambered in 40mm grenades and it fires frag grenades that can explode mid-flight to eliminate targets behind cover. The second gadget here is the GL40 STKY, or a sticky grenade launcher, which is chambered in 40mm sticky grenades that can adhere to surfaces, vehicles, or soldiers, and it can be carried standalone or underslung. Then the M320A1AT, which is an anti-vehicle grenade launcher that is chambered in 40mm anti-tank grenades and is ideal for combating enemy armor and can be carried standalone or underslung. So it looks like these things are going to be for the engineer mostly, because we know that engineers typically get the launchers. And then there is the RGO impact grenade, which is a fragmentation grenade that provides a quick explosion at the cost of less damage and detonates on contact. So this one's likely going to be something that possibly all the classes can use. It just kind of sounds like it would be something like that. Now these things sound pretty good, but the thing that really caught my attention in this leak was something for Season 3, which is obviously a long time ahead of us, well into next year, but before we know it, we're probably going to be talking about Season 3 here very soon. But that is the jet ski, which is a fast, agile watercraft perfect for rapid assaults and quick getaways across rivers and coastal zones. Obviously, hearing the word coastal zones made me think immediately of naval combat. Now that is something that we know Battlefield 6 is going to be getting. They talked about this before the launch, they talked about it after the launch, and a little bit after the game launched, Insider Gaming posted a pretty interesting read about some of the data mines that they were able to find that included references to naval combat. So according to them, it's called Project Glacier currently in the files. Now I know Glacier might not be the first thing that comes to mind. When we think of naval combat, it sounds very much more like Arctic combat and things like that, but it's very possible that it's going to be more of an Arctic naval type situation. But in Project Glacier, jet skis were listed as well as inflatable boats boats, and so hearing jet ski here in these leaks immediately made me think of that report I read from Insider Gaming. So it looks like it's very possible that naval combat is being planned for Season 3. But personally, I think of all the things that I've wanted to see in Battlefield 6, naval combat is at the top of the list for sure. I really like the idea of being able to kind of have boats, jet skis, these sorts of things. It sounds like it would be a lot of fun to travel between different sorts of capture points on large naval carriers, for instance. I feel like that would be pretty cool for this game. Hopefully, if we do get some naval combat maps, that they're going to be larger in size and a little bit spread out to make it more exciting and interesting. Now, it does look like there are also going to be some older maps from previous Battlefield titles that will be making their way into Battlefield 6, including Propaganda, Talah Market, and Downtown, though Downtown is still kind of the questionable one. Propaganda seems to be next on the release list based on the number of references according to Temporal. Of course, these things are not set in stone, and they are subject to change at any time, depending on when the devs decide to release certain things or if they will release certain things. One of the other pieces of news in regards to future seasons of Battlefield 6 appears to be this concept art that was posted to X. Now, some news sources reported on this as being a potential nod to the fact that a Grand Bazaar style map might be added to Battlefield 6, while others have said that this is concept art for something else or for a different Battlefield title or just a general piece of concept art in general, basically. However, some people do think that this concept art is for Battlefield 6 and signals the return of classic maps from previous Battlefield titles. Grand Bazaar was a popular map from Battlefield 3. Now, the thing is, it is a smaller sized map, so there was a bit of what I saw some players kind of questioning why they would be adding or creating a new map that was small, when one of the biggest kind of complaints about Battlefield 6 so far has been the map sizes. It would be nice to also see Gulf of Oman, Operation Metro, things like that. I think if we're going to be bringing back some older Battlefield maps, we would like to see those as well. I also think that adding more destruction to the maps would be great as well. I really liked the Eastwood map. So far, it's my favorite map in the game. Aside from Siege of Cairo, I think those two are pretty much tied for my favorites right now. And I think that the Eastwood map had a solid level of destruction. I was pretty pleased to see just how much you could actually impact in that map. So I do think seeing something similar to that in any future maps would be cool as well. It would have also been really cool to get some pretty intense Levolution events in Battlefield 6, but it's fine. For right now, I think if we get more destruction in the same style that Eastwood did, then it would be great as well. But anyways, that was kind of a lot of information to unpack. Of course, like I said before, take things with a grain of salt. Nothing is set in stone, but data mines tend to be pretty solid at finding information, though there could also be leftover references for previous games. It is the same engine at the end of the day. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, how you feel about some of these leaks, what you'd like to see coming to Battlefield 6 in future seasons. Do leave a comment about that below. Leave a like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications set to all so you don't miss out on another upload. And that's all for today, folks.